I know we all worry about violent people and violence coming to our churches, and I'm always wanting to remind you that we need to prepare for the violence just in case. But statistically, it's a low possibility to come to your church. What we do need to prepare for even more is, the likely incidents. And I've shared those before statistically. Those are medical emergencies. Those are going to happen at your church. And then the church service interruptions are also near the top of the list of likely incidents to happen at your church. So that is what I want to talk about today. A real church service interruption. I want to show you a video. What can we do about these likely to occur incidents? The real incident I want to show you is an even more challenging event because it's a silent, passive person wearing a bright yellow t-shirt with offensive writing on it. And this person strolls through the church, through the people, and up to the front of the church showing this vulgar writing on his t-shirt. So how do we get prepared for the likely incidents to happen? This church service interruption, how do we prepare for it? One of the first things we want to do is discuss this with our leadership. If you're a church security team member or leader who talks directly to your pastor or priest or other leader, we should get their opinion on what they want us to do. Do they want us to immediately screen this person and contact them and escort them out? What if they resist us, which is rare, by the way, that they actually resist. But if they do resist, are we going to drag them out? Questions we need to explore with our leaders and maybe even our church attorney or church insurance company. Because remember, I'm giving you my opinions based on my law enforcement and church security experience. I'm not giving you legal advice here. I'm not an attorney. So we are checking with our team leader, our church leader, or whoever we need to for this advice on what they want done. If this person is passively walking through the church with a signboard or a t-shirt in this case, but not being aggressive, what are we going to do? So my personal opinion is something needs to be done. In my church, with my security plan, we would screen the person off by getting you screen them off by getting a couple of us in front of them and in front of the guy, in front of his t-shirt, and try to just block this vulgar writing on there. We would then ask him to go with us to the nearest door and try to encourage him to move that way. If he's not really willing to go, which statistically most of the time they will, then we would resort to a little pressure and maybe pulling him a little bit or encouraging him by pressing on his back or his shoulder in the direction we want him to go with a gentle push from our hand. Most of the time that's going to work from my studies and discussions I have had with other people. If it were to get aggressive, what would you do? Those are the things you want to talk about ahead of time. At what point do you call the police? That's another question to ask your leaders and confirm with them or make those decisions. My opinion is that if you have to struggle with them or put hands on them very much, but especially if you have to wrestle with them to get them out the door, you should call the police, especially if there's any chance that they have a little injury. I think you want the police to document this by charging them with a disorderly conduct charge or whatever, depending on your state and location. The laws are going to be different, but at least call and speak to law enforcement about charging the person. One concern of mine is that you forcefully escort this person out and then 6 months later, they claim you hurt them. And there's no documented reason why you had to escort them out. But again, this is my opinion, not legal advice. In this case, you're dealing with a passive person, however, so let's stick with that scenario. What are you going to do? And I'm back to getting one or two of you to stand in front of him, block the writing on the t-shirt, and ask him to go to the door with you. And that will probably work. So let's take a look at this video. And I want to show you it's a real situation. It's a real video clip. As you start looking at this clip, he's passively enters the church. He's taking his jacket off, his covering off of the t-shirt. He's not acting out physically or verbally. Also note, he brought a camera person with him, so you're actually dealing with two people. And I'm assuming by the video, both are being passive in their interruptions. So the video person is also very passive, very quiet. Now, I have somewhat blurred the vulgar words on the shirt. I don't think we really need to see that junk. So, and it really doesn't matter. What it says, for our purposes today, it doesn't matter what it says. But since it's vulgar, then what are you going to do? And I hope you show this to your leaders and you show this to your team, whatever team that is, a minister team, a leadership team, or a church security team, maybe your usher team or a greeter team, and start a what to do conversation. If this happened at your church, what do you want these people to do? You need to discuss this, because I'm not telling you that you should escort this guy out. I am providing this format for you to discuss it. I'm giving you my opinions, but you need to decide what you would do and what to do and how to handle it. That's through discussions. Have some meetings. I do believe we need boundaries, however, and I will add that if you allow people to do this and you don't have a plan, they may do this kind of thing multiple times, or multiple people may come into your church and disrupt. But the important thing here is that you are prepared for what you should do, given what your leaders, your attorney, your insurance company want you to do. So this is part of protecting your services from being interrupted, protecting your people and families from having to go through these challenging things in today's difficult environment. So I hope you will dig in with your people and get some direction and give some direction to those who might need it if this were to actually happen. And as always, I thank you so much for joining me today and taking the time to get better at protecting your people and your church. And I hope that you stay safe and secure until I can catch up with you again on the next video.